Jane, you look divine, sublime, you're practically shining. What a day. Today, our silver lining. Can you believe? Our wedding day. To think the way things started out with heartache and with so much doubt, and I who almost did without a husband, but he was certainly not pleasant, very different from the present. Used to think I was a peasant. You heard him speak. So meek, needed to work on his technique. Lizzie, he said she's tolerable, but not handsome enough to tempt me. He was really pretty beastly, definitely not my cup of tea. And Lizzie, would you please button up my glove and don't forget that you're in love and to be married today to him. Oh yes, my love, undying, I am practically flying, and the knot I will be tying, but still. It is a blessed celebration, and we are building the foundation of our hopes for the duration of our lives. Yes, it's a wonder that we made it, and I'm the first who will admit that it was not an easy road that we traversed. You did well, but from the first it was clear that I was cursed in my undoubted hesitation in the ballroom. But I couldn't very well just dance with any pretty belle. Why not? Because I'm wealthy and they know it, and if they could, they would exploit it. I have to think of my dependents and find them a worthy mistress. If I fail, I'm not the only one who suffers. I see. And when it came to my Miss Bennet, I thought I'd really stepped in it because her family would not be my first choice. And she was difficult and charming, most alarmingly disarming when we talked on the occasion of Jane's illness. She teased and she baited me, delighted and frustrated me, till only her low status saved me from her. Harsh? Perhaps, but still. Lizzie, it's crazy how things turn so well. I can't even begin to tell how it is that we are here today. Yes, it all seems so unlikely, especially on that one day when dear Mr. Collins came to press his suit. Oh dear, it was dreadful from the start. He thought he would just impart the privilege of himself in matrimony.
I singled you out as the companion of my future life.
He thought that I'd become his wife, a marriage full of brainless strife. Yes, dear. And as soon as he was done, Mr. Darcy came to stun me and brought with him a speech beyond belief. His sense of my inferiority, my dishonor, a priority. His suit went against the majority of his family. Oh, calm down, Lizzie. You're not so different from those two. Some of the same traits still show through. What? Collins couldn't keep his mouth shut. You're the same, except you're somewhat prettier, and you made it look much wittier. And your pride is quite as blinding, but your girlish charm spellbinding. And I don't like to be reminding, but I thought that you should know. Oh! It's hard to think that she'll be mine, considering that she did decline the first time when I asked her for her hand. She didn't do quite what I'd planned. She thought I acted much too grand, but I only meant to be completely honest. I did think of her family and what asking might do to me, and I thought that we both ought to see the complications of marriage. Oh. What? At least it wasn't half so bad as the offer Mr. Collins had. To him, she was a passing fad. My speech was certainly not that sad. Okay, whatever you want to say, I just think that I will stay way out of the way. Oh, for goodness sake, Bingley, my first proposal was better than his, and I'm sure she'd say the same. When I think about the two, and when I try to decide who was the worst, I'd have to go with Darcy. Well, maybe I'm not the greatest with speeches, but I'm the one who wears the breeches. I doubt you'd be able to pull off a dress. And if my proposal was so terrible, her response was quite unbearable. She said, "You could not have made me the offer of your hand in any possible way that would have tempted me to accept it." She said that. And Jane, I was quite justified. How could he think I'd be his bride after being Bingley's trusted guide and leading him from you? What I did because the things I witnessed gave me pause. She didn't know the truth of Wickham or the true reasons why I kicked him out. He had no right to try to meddle or to try and wisely peddle his advice to Bingley, who was the most singly capable man. He had it all in hand, but Darcy had to take a stand. The nerve, so covered in reserve. I just tried to conserve the peace. I was afraid it was caprice. caprice that made her humor you. Oh, Darcy. But Lizzie couldn't see the same. She thought that I was all to blame. He spoke to me of all my shame. How dare he? He thought I'd be so easy, his importance so cheesy. And her mother, she's like another of her mother. The fratted woman drives me batty, such an impudent old fatty, and her sisters are so bratty. Did you hear that? Now you've done it. Jane, I think I heard something. Oh, blast. I didn't hear anything. I suppose it could be nothing, but these walls are awfully thin. And you better keep your voice down. Come straighten up and smooth that gown. Just think, what if Darcy heard you now? On our wedding day, that's right, that would be positively frightful. I suppose I might have been a bit harsh. After all, he is so patient, and we did make quite a statement. At least Mother did that night at Netherfield Ball. She said Jane's marrying greatly would improve her sister's safety and their chances of securing their own wealth. Oh, any man in his right mind would have to be completely blind to see that I was not the best fish in the sea. And yet he still wanted to marry me, unblinking and unflinchingly, despite his aunt and my lack of docility. Despite Lydia and her Wickham, our reputation and our income, he didn't care, and he is waiting for me now. I don't think she heard that last part, but oh, it gave me such a start. I almost had a bad attack of heart. Now I regret what I was saying, and I know that I was displaying the worst side of my pride. You were being very snide. Thank you, Bingley. I was so rude, and so was Aunt, and that wasn't what I wanted, but it came through all the same. She had a right to be a bit mad, and she should be, I suppose I'll add, but it didn't last as long as I had thought. She forgave and she cared, and to my aunt she quite declared that I wouldn't be refused. Again. Yes, again. And now she's looking past my pride, and she is going to be my bride, and I just can't see a downside, and she is waiting for me now.
Word.